7 years. That is the average lifespan of a Canadian basement renovation. Not 25 years, not 40. 7. And when it fails, it does not fail slowly. It fails all at once. The drywall stains, the floor buckles, the smell hits you first. And then you find it, black mold running the full length of every exterior wall, hidden behind the renovation you paid $40,000 for. This is not bad luck, this is physics. And the Canadian basement renovation industry has been ignoring physics for 30 years. Here is exactly what is happening inside your walls right now. The first failure is the one built into the design before a single nail is driven. Walk into any basement renovation consultation in Canada, and the contractor will propose the same system that has been proposed in every basement from Windsor to Edmonton for the last 3 decades. 2x4 wood stud walls framed directly against the concrete foundation. Fiberglass batt insulation pressed between the studs. A 6mm polyethylene vapor barrier stapled across the face. Drywall over top. It looks clean, it feels solid, and it is a catastrophic violation of building science in the Canadian climate. Here is why. Your concrete foundation wall is cold. In a Canadian winter, the exterior face of that wall can drop to -20 degrees or lower. The interior of your basement is heated to 20 degrees and filled with moisture from cooking, breathing, and showering. That warm, humid interior air migrates toward the cold surface. It moves through the drywall, through the vapor barrier stapled loosely to the studs, through the fiberglass batt, and it hits the cold concrete. At that interface, it reaches the dew point and condenses into liquid water. Every single heating season, that process runs for 5 to 6 months. The wood framing absorbs the moisture. The fiberglass holds it in place. The polyethylene barrier, which was supposed to stop this, is punctured by every electrical outlet, every staple, and every imperfect seam. The vapor barrier that homeowners trust completely is not airtight. It never was. And behind it, the mold is already growing. The renovation looks perfect for 3 to 5 years. Then, the paint on the drywall starts to bubble near the floor. A faint smell develops that you cannot locate. You pull back the baseboard and find the bottom plate is soft. You cut an inspection hole in the drywall, and the flashlight reveals a forest of black mold across every stud bay on the exterior wall. The remediation crew gives you the number. Strip to the concrete, remove the framing, treat the foundation, rebuild from scratch. $40,000. The second failure is the floor. Every Canadian basement renovation includes new flooring, and the product sold in 90% of those jobs is either engineered laminate or luxury vinyl plank. Both products are marketed with moisture resistance claims. Both products fail on a Canadian concrete slab. Here is the mechanism. Concrete does not dry out. It is a porous material that continuously wicks ground moisture upward through capillary action. In a Canadian basement, that process is amplified by the freeze-thaw pressure on the exterior of the foundation. The moisture vapor rises through the slab and gets trapped under the floating floor above it. Engineered laminate swells at the joints and delaminates. Luxury vinyl plank develops hollow spots, lifts at the seams, and the click-lock joints fail under the pressure. The floor that looked perfect on installation day starts moving within 2 winters. The fix is always the same. Tear it out, address the slab, moisture, and start over. The correct product for a Canadian basement floor is ceramic or porcelain tile set in full mortar directly on the slab after a proper moisture vapor test. It costs more. It takes longer to install. And it is the only floor system that does not react to what a Canadian concrete slab does every single year. There is no floating floor that survives a Canadian basement indefinitely. The physics do not allow it. The third failure is the one nobody sees until it is far too late. Basement window wells. Every Canadian home with below-grade windows has window wells cut into the foundation, and every one of those window wells is a water collection point. The gravel at the bottom of the well is supposed to drain water away from the foundation. In a new home, it does. After 7 to 10 years of soil settlement, frost heave, and debris accumulation, the drainage path is blocked. The window well fills with water during spring thaw. That water sits against the foundation wall and finds every crack, every cold joint, every penetration. It enters the basement. It runs under the flooring and behind the walls. Because this happens in March when the ground is still partially frozen and the water table is at its highest, the inflow comes in large volume. A single spring thaw event with a blocked window well can put 2 inches of water across a finished basement floor. The renovation that took 3 weeks to build is destroyed in one night. The fix for window wells is a cover, a properly maintained drain, and a waterproof membrane on the exterior face of the foundation. None of these are included in a standard Canadian basement renovation quote. All of them cost less than $500 per window well. The water damage they prevent costs $20,000 to $60,000. The fourth failure is the electrical. This one does not cause mold. It causes fires. Basement renovations across Canada routinely involve the addition of pot lights, dedicated circuits, and new panel connections. In the Canadian renovation market, a significant portion of this work is performed by general contractors or handymen who are not licensed electricians, operating in a gray zone of permit avoidance that homeowners accept because it keeps the quote down. The work functions, the lights turn on, the outlets work. But the connections are not inspected, the wire gauges are not verified, and the junction boxes are buried inside finished walls without access panels. When the connection fails, and improperly made connections always eventually fail. The failure happens inside a wall cavity filled with wood framing and insulation. Ontario's Electrical Safety Authority, ESA, publishes data showing that unpermitted electrical work is a contributing factor in a disproportionate number of residential fires in the province. Saving $2,000 by skipping the electrical permit on a basement renovation is not a budget decision. It is a risk calculation with your house as the asset. The fifth failure is the one the renovation industry never discusses: subfloor flatness. Before any finished floor goes down in a basement renovation, the concrete slab must be tested for flatness and levelness. A variance of more than 3/16 of an inch over 10 feet will cause a floating floor to flex, the joints to stress, and the locking tabs to fail within months. Most basement renovation contractors in Canada do not perform a flatness assessment before flooring installation. They drop a straight edge, eyeball it, and proceed. When the floor starts clicking and gapping after the first winter, the contractor tells you it is a humidity issue. It is not. It is a substrate issue that should have been addressed with a self-leveling compound before the first plank was laid. The self-leveling step costs $800 to $1,500 on a standard basement. Skipping it costs you a full floor replacement. Here is the verdict. The Canadian basement renovation industry has a systematic failure problem rooted in one cause. The standard package, the 2x4 wall, the fiberglass batt, the polyvapor barrier, the floating floor, was designed for a temperate climate. Canada does not have a temperate climate. It has one of the most aggressive moisture and temperature cycling environments on the planet. Every material choice in the standard package is wrong for that environment. Every contractor knows this at some level, but the standard package is what clients ask for, what the budget allows, and what fills the schedule. If you are planning a basement renovation, you now have the information to ask different questions. Demand closed-cell spray foam on the foundation walls, not fiberglass. Demand tile on the slab, not laminate. Demand a flatness assessment before flooring. Demand a permit for every electrical circuit. and demand a window well drainage inspection before a single wall goes up. The renovation that follows those specifications will cost more. It will also still be standing in 30 years. The standard package will be in a dumpster in 7 years.